Hello everybody, it's Ole Pops back with you again, and today I'm at Grand Lake of the Cherokees, my home lake, and I am putting in over at the Shangri-La Marina, which is centrally located. They've got a great pay boat ramp right there. I think it's $5 to put in. And I just put my VMAG in, and I'm getting ready to get out on the water and target some big blue catfish. Now I don't have a lot of time today, so I'm only going to hit a spot or two. But I'm going to be fishing in areas that should hold big fish, and hopefully by the end of the video here you've got an idea of where you can go out and target a big blue catfish on your lake. Now, one of the things I always recommend is, and that especially in the wintertime, y'all run with that life jacket on, and that is another great tip from Ole Pops right there. If you don't use power poles to load and unload your boat by yourself, you're really missing out, because they make loading and unloading your boat by yourself very easy. And I'm also going to show you another use for my power poles besides just using them as a shallow water anchor. So I'm heading out of the marina right now, and I'm going to get out on the rough water, and we got a hard west-northwest wind. The marina's protected right there, but I'm going to get out there and smash them waves down with the VMAG and get on over to a really deep drop off and a deep ledge, and I'm going to show you how I set up and fish that. Now, as you can see here, I've got a lot of fish on the 2D color sonar, and I've got some waypoints that have some old brush piles, some old log piles laying on them, and that drop off goes where I'm going to be fishing. I'm going to be fishing in about 40 foot of water is where I'm going to have my boat anchored. So I'm actually casting in different depths, and I'm casting from shallow to deep, and there's kind of a stair step where there's a little brush pile right in there, and I'm trying to hit all different depths, and I'm trying to hit some structure. Of course, I'm going to be fishing different depths, but I'm also going to be trying to hit some structure with some of that cut bait to see if I can lure a big catfish out. And just about the time I get everything out and I'm going through that segment, bingo bango, what do you know, I've got a catfish on. Hey, getting these catfish in by yourself, especially the ones that are, 8 pounds, 10 pounds and up, can really be a challenge. But I carry that fish grip with me, and I tell you what, I've landed a lot of fish with that thing. So I would encourage you to get a floating fish grip. The yellow Team Catfish grip is the heavy duty model that's designed to handle catfish, and I've had a hold of fish up to 100 pounds with those. So anyway, that's my first blue cat on this drop off, and that fish came in about 45 foot of water. I'm guessing somewhere in that neighborhood. Now I'm spot locked on the drop off. My trolling motor is holding me right there, and I'm not out to keep anything today. I'm just out having a good time catching some blues. So getting ready to dump that baby back in, and we're going to see what happens next. Now, I was getting several bites out there, and those cats were keeping me hopping, but I wanted to quickly show you what I was using for my terminal tackle. That's a Team Catfish rod, Thundercat spinning rod with a 50 size spinning reel. I'm using 10/0 double action circle hooks that are offset to try to help maximize the hook set there a little bit. Big old hook for big baits. 50-pound monofilament leader, and I'm using a large barrel swivel, a sinker bumper, and a sinker slide attached to a snagless sinker right there. So that's my setup, and I use that setup a lot. The other rig that I use is a 3-way rig that I've shown on some of the other Ole Pops videos, and I always hook the bait on there, and I never crowd that gap. Do not crowd the gap on any hook, folks. When those catfish swim up there to eat that, they gulp that whole thing in, and you need to have as much of that hook point exposed as possible to let that double action hook do its thing. You know, a lot of times people ask me, how long do you set in a spot? And I can tell you, when you see a fish finder that looks like this, you need to continue to set there if you're still getting a few bites, because you've got active fish feeding on shad schools, and you've got fish all along the bottom. And when you're setting still from a spot lock position and that many fish are traveling under your boat, chances are you're getting ready to get another takedown. Woo-wee, man, I had a good one hooked right here, and I tell you what, I knew it was going to get serious. I could tell by the way this big rascal was thumping on that Thundercat that it was time for me to get that other rod in, get my power poles up, because I was going to have a big fish to contend with right here. So when you're out there by yourself, you don't leave anything to chance if you can, because you don't got anybody else out there to help you land this thing. So I was reeling in my other rod while I was continuing to keep a little bit of pressure on that cat, and I got my power poles lifted up, and those things really help stabilize your boat when you're on spot lock, and they're like a big rudder back there, and they really help hold the back end of that boat from swinging around. So anyway, the big cat took off right there and pulled the rod, just about pulled the rod out of my hand. He got my hat turned sideways, and I tell you what, I'm out there when you're doing this by yourself, it is a hoot, but it can get pretty hairy pretty quick. So hang on here and let's see what happens. I'm gonna say it again. I'll tell you what, I fish got my Eat Sleep Catfish hoodie slimed up, and I'm getting some pictures of this guy right in front of the GoPro. What a nice blue catfish. I was so happy with that guy. And anyway, I'm not gonna keep him out of the water very long, and I'm putting him back in. I don't know how big he was. I don't weigh these fish. I just glad to catch them and cut them loose. Now, hey, I was out there on New Year's Eve filming this, and my wife was ready to get over to a New Year's party, so I knew I had to get off the water. But as I was reeling my rods up and putting them in the rod straps in the back of the VMAG, which are absolutely awesome for transporting catfish and crappie rods, this was one of the last rods I had left out, and I saw the commitment on the tip of the rod, and I'm getting ready to reel down and get them. And a lot of times when you're out here in this deep water, you got to leave a lot of slack in your line, guys, and if you don't, you're going to be hung up. But leave that slack in your line, and you can see your line moving. Use that rod and that reel down method, double action hook, and you'll be real happy when you learn how to do that, because you're going to hook a lot more fish if you don't yank your bait off. And what a great way to end a winter's day out on Grand Lake. Hey, don't be afraid to use a big hook too either when you're out there, guys, and you know you're fishing in areas with fish from 1 pound to 100 pounds. Those catfish, especially those 2 and 3 pounders, when they gulp that bait, they do not have a care in the world as to what size of hook you're using. So the 8-10-aught double actions are my choice for ledge fishing out here in this winter weather, and give them a shot sometime. I think you're going to really enjoy them. Like I said, time to head in. Mama's ready to go to the New Year's Eve party. I'm going to bundle up and put the throttle down on that Suzuki and let that VMAG chop up some waves on the way back in. Hey, now this next clip I'm going to show you how rough the water was, and I can show you how easily this VMAG glides over those rough waves. So I'm going to let the music roll and slide to the Ole Pops logo. If you guys enjoy these, please subscribe to my new channel. It's a young channel, and I need all the subscribers that I can get. So you guys hit that subscribe button and go to the bell and let that thing ring. Push the button and let it ring. And we'll see you guys out there on the water some other time. And good luck out there.